And we're back to the Those Who Wander, as I also show off the art because I wanted to at least have this be a like record on YouTube as well for the thing I got commissioned.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's really
Just want to show,
cool.
yeah, just want to show love to all those like past and present that have been like going around with us for over 2 years now. And also, I should make sure to show them out. This was done by Prismagic over on the Blue Sky and the VGen. I'll have a link in the YouTube description. So look forward to that.
Is very cute. I like it
They're
very much.
so cute.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you, Vaughn.
No
yes,
problem.
Oh,
thank you.
I care them.
And thank you to the commissioner. These are absolutely adorable.
I'm honored to be included. Thank you so much, Vaughn.
Of course. Like I said, I want to get as many people like old and new in. But we also now need to start getting into Scald where, oh boy, do we have a lot on the docket. Oh boy.
Get it? Docs? Docket?
I
Oh,
So far, the best investment I did in putting soundboards on like Discord.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, why don't we start going around the horn and introducing ourselves? I can spin the wheel.
Spin the
Spin.
wheel.
Spin.
In the wheel.
Spin. Wheel. 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 Wheel lands on Kaz.
Hello, I'm Kartakass. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at that name, or you can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Sarcastic Vision. I'm
Oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Kaz, you're roboting out.
working on art for this session on my tablet. Nothing else really to report, so I'm going to pass our lovely talking skull over to Zan.
Hi, that's me. You can catch me over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZanalisChrome, where I'll be streaming tomorrow at 7 p.m. PST for the final fight of Stalwart Souls. So if you want to see what that's about, come on over. Then Tuesday, twitch.tv/Distortion Devil at 1 p.m. PST. We have some more Vecnave of Ruin, where I play another depressed bard. So if you want to come see that, come on over. Then Thursday, twitch.tv/Monticles at 7 p.m. PST, I play a depressed fighter. So pretty close to the end of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Really long module, level 20 content. Want to come see what that's about? Come on over. Then on Friday, twitch.tv/Distortion Devil again at 2:30 p.m. PST. We've got some more Cazador's Guide to the Cosmos, where we're ramping up towards the end of that. And we've got some interesting encounters and fights up ahead. So if you want to see what that's about, come on over. Then on Saturday, twitch.tv/The Unexpectables, 6 p.m. PST, we have some more Fool's Guild. I DM a 40k show. If you want to see what that's about, come on over. It's getting nice and spicy. So, that is me. I will bequeath the Talking Skull over to Hilly.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Scaly Alpha. You can find me on Twitch and Blue Sky under the same names. Apologies for the lack of streams as of late. I had some friends that have come all the way down from up north to see a mutual's college graduation and to see me before the surgery, so I've been occupied the past couple days. We won't have a Monday stream, but we'll be back at doing content where I will be running Tuesday Paper Mario the Cosmic Caper Season 2 over here at Vaughn's channel. And later in the week, we will also be planning a couple art hangouts, which will be pretty fun. Other than that, look forward to potentially more Paper Mario content in the immediate near future, as I'm already rounding up another gaggle of goobers to run yet another game. Other than that, that's really it for me at the moment, since I haven't had time to really work on a schedule proper. I will pass it from here on over to Leah.
Hi, I'm Leah, aka Amusing Thalia. You can find me here on Sundays doing this or Suits. You can find me at my channel, at Amusing Thalia, on Mondays if you want to see games with friends. Sometimes we hang out and do art, sometimes we play group games, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be back at it with Nier. Fingers crossed, providing no one has an additional conflict or is busy or is super tired. But other than that, you can find me poking around on other people's channels, such as at Gaius Ghost Pause on Wednesday for some gunk trauma, my channel on Thursdays for some more superhero content, and the penultimate episode for Cazador's Guide to the Cosmos this Friday. As previously mentioned, we're ramping towards the end. We got this, and then one more after that, and that'll be it. So if you want to see the end of a campaign, that is there for you. Otherwise, I just thank you all for having me be here, and I believe everyone went, so I'm just yeeting the skull back to Vaughn's neck.
I believe Sarah still needs to go, but I think they stepped away.
Nope, I'm here.
I thought Sarah's went earlier. Well, in which case
Sarah chose the picker, which is why you may have been.
That's it. That's it. Well, I will soccer kick Vaughn's skull at you.
Oh, jeez. To which I
Surprise drop kick.
Try to catch between my hand. Hi. You can find me all over the internet at TixTixel. Or sometimes I post art. Sometimes I stream. That's a thing. Sometimes you can find me at the Amusing Thalia or Leah's channel on Mondays, doing stuff and things. Depends on what's happening and what people are feeling, of course. You can find me, as previously mentioned, at Distortion Devil's channel for some Cazador's Guide to the Cosmos. If you like some Spelljammer D&D and you're interested in high stakes dungeon crawler, please come check it out. It's gonna be a good time. Then this coming week specifically, we've got some more No Love War Extra on Saturday, where we get to I'm trying to pick the right word here. We get to observe, witness the most toxic of Yuris, with more of the devil. And then following that, again, as aforementioned, we'll be on my channel for some more The Lost and the Found. And do have a little quick announcement real quick before I pass this off to Vaughn that we will be off in 2 weeks on May 17th. But we should be, as far as I'm aware, reconvening on May 31st to finish, or not to finish, I'm so sorry, to continue, wrong word, to continue on with the story after a really brief break. So I want to make sure that everyone's aware of that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is ending too? No,
Literally,
too much change, too much change.
I literally just said the wrong word. I am so sorry. Nope, we're still alive and kicking. We have way too much story to get through. But no, we're off on.
I was gonna say, this is a really rude way to tell us.
I'm really sorry. I've been.
No, it's my fault. I'm recovering from the surgery, so we can't do it.
No. No, it's fine.
I've been fumbling my words so bad today, y'all. I'm so sorry. No, we are not finishing. I'm so sorry. We are reconvening. That is the correct word. On May 31st. Again, I'm so sorry. Just wanted to make sure that people were aware of that, had it on their calendars. To keep in mind that we will not be here in 2 weeks, but we will be here in 4. And with that,
I'm just fucking with you.
I would like to pass the talking skull back to our generous host, Vaughn.
Well, I thank you. Hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Blue Sky on YouTube at Burnout Vaughn, over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar, where, yeah, like we said, Tuesday we've got some more Cosmic Caper, where I'm definitely not going to be investing in some more insurance fraud. Totally not. You know, I mean, there's other frauds to be had, plenty. It's a very, very lucrative kingdom. But hey, looking forward to that.
Did you check if they have ghost insurance? Like,
I'm writing that down now. You forget Doug is crooked enough that he will immediately do that. But following that, like we said, we are also hopping back into, again, the toxic cesspool of Yuri that is of the devil, where, you know what, I think actually adding in Yakuza to Toxic Yuri only makes it more of the spice of life. So if that sounds up your alley, please check it out with us. And then on the following Sunday, we will have some more Suits action, where we've managed to go 2 sessions within 2 different fights. If we get into another fight, I'm going to find it hilarious. I'm going to be honest.
That just
But we
depends on y'all at this point. I'll be honest with you. It really depends on what you do.
Fair. I mean, we did adopt a shark.
You did literally adopt a giant shark, man. So yeah, if you want to know what that's about.
True, and to further entice, since I know the crossover of people who watch this to people who are also One Piece fans, come watch as we start the adventures of Freddy Chomper over on Suits. But with that out of the way, it's time for me to play our lovely theme song so we can get back on to our adventure.
God, the fucking damn it. Yeah, this is my life now. I've committed the biggest faux pas imaginable, you know. I just will never recover. But speaking of recovery, does anyone want to give us a recap of what happened last session?
I can.
I can. Oh, go for it.
Nose goes. I'm eating.
But yeah, last session, we made it safely back to the wayfaring stranger, having survived the trial that was the Carrie's lupus, and tensions were high, spirits were a little low, as everybody had to deal with the insane adrenaline crash down that we had, which led to a lot of introspection, with Ophestiel and Lena looking to better understand the forces that we are going to be battling, in the form of studying the notes from the poisoner's ship that came in on the mist, as well as what we found at the Cauldron Side Cliff lab that we had just left. Clem also made a point of checking in on Sasha, who they had a lot to talk about in the way of Sasha having stayed around here for a long time, and how they don't want to overstay their welcome, but they are still much more comfortable here. And following that, Razvan also had to have a long conversation with Branson, where, having felt not adequately prepared for everything that's happened and what will have to happen here to come, wanted to speak with Branson about possibly going down a different path, leaving behind some of his bardic whimsy in the sake of an oath that might lead him to some more power. And Branson, acquiesced, letting him know where he stood on that, and also supporting him. And things were going pretty good until the Lee Side Serpent pulled up, and we had to talk to them, remembering that we had lied to them last time we saw them. So we definitely, tried to convince them that Sasha was definitely 110% dead and floating somewhere down the river while they were hiding in a barrel on board our ship. And then, having thought that we had successfully, absconded, found out that no, they knew. They figured it out. They're following us. So, as we, girded up and prepared, Razvan once again took Branson aside and made himself an oath, a paladin oath, for what is coming forward and what he plans to do. And then we noticed that as we pulled in towards Scald, there was a very ominous line of ships lining the dock. And now we're starting to wonder just how safe we are.
Would anybody like to add anything else, or think that anything else was forgotten? Amazing. Fantastic.
I think that covers everything.
Pretty
Do you-
comprehensive.
Yeah. Do you have a die of inspiration?
I do not.
Would you like to give yourself one?
I would love to, thank you.
Yeah. And thus, we open to, as aforementioned, a long line of ships lined up as if waiting for something, anything to happen. But as all of you looked forward, and I'm just going to say using Vern and using Omen, the two birds were able to identify and notice that the ships had, all of them in a line heading towards the docks, had weight anchor. Or not weight anchor. They had dropped anchor. Sorry, wrong word. Dropped anchor. And were just waiting. With shouts on the horizon, you get the sense that there is little to no movement happening. And as you come across your ship coming to a halt, to be perfectly honest, where we open up is you are not entirely certain how long people have been waiting, how other ships have been waiting. You also don't know yourself how long you will be seated here. What is the attitude and or initial thought processes of the party? And I'll start with the captain, and we'll work our way down.
He feels a little bit of apprehension, but for the most part is trying to save face and appear confident as they approach. Definitely trying to keep an eye out for anything strange that might allude to what's going on.
Okay. Would you, at this point, like to perhaps... I'm not sure how much a perception check would help you, but is there anything you would like to do in this moment?
I can roll one.
Sure.
The 20.
Okay. On a 20, here's what I will give you, because I think this would be beneficial to your plight. You sort of focus, trying to get a sense for what is coming and where you're at. And you hear from the ship before you, I don't know how long it's going to take before we get to docks. What, you just want us to sit here? Might as well go elsewhere if they're not going to let us in. We don't have the supplies to head all the way to Harmonia. We either dock or we got nothing. The captain says we need to dock, thus we stay. Should anybody have any issue with that, you're welcome to jump ship. You hear the sounds of anger rumbling and grumbling amongst the ship and amongst the crew. But that is what you perceive. With that, going with Razvan, as everyone is, again, sort of just sitting there waiting. What is the current feeling, and or what are the first thoughts on his mind?
Roswell's going to curiously look towards any of the flags, either on the docks, the wharf, or the ships that are near the front. Is there the naval sign for a quarantine, perhaps?
That is a great question. Go ahead with advantage. This is going to be a I'm gonna say in this case, and please trust me on this, it's gonna be I'm gonna go with like a history check, but with advantage.
22. Oh, advantage. 22.
22. It's, you see, I would say you recognizing there is, you're recognizing what you would expect from flags up on the docks. You don't currently see any flags on the docks, so you don't see an indicator for a quarantine at all, even if you expected it to be different. And it might even strike you as odd that the dock doesn't have any flag upon it at this current moment in time.
Then Roswan will look towards the captain and the crew. If we wish, we can weigh anchor, leave 2 of our companions aboard, and simply take the dinghy towards the shore to head back to where we need to, if you wish. Do not know how long it will be, but there are no signs of quarantine or emergency, but I also do not see any signs of immediate activity on the docks either.
Any and all of you are welcome to respond.
Clem, Lena, would either of you be able to use some of your more, I suppose, enhanced senses to get an eye as to what is happening over on the various wharfs and docks?
I would be more than happy to take a look, though my senses are not particularly adept. My dear companion Omen may be able to spy something a bit more particular. I also can deliver a message and or potentially communicate with someone. I could send a letter. If there's anyone you wish to ask, perhaps Lychee or Branson, I know that you were wanting to check in on something back at your inn, correct?
Well, let us find out first what is potentially happening before we proceed with our plans.
Of course, yes. Forgive me, I got ahead of myself. I will send Omen.
Appreciate it.
I can assist as well. I'll just take a nice seat somewhere and have Vern do some flybys overhead.
Lena, would you like to look at the docks or over the city proper? I can do whichever you choose not to.
I can perchance do a visual over the city proper. Uh, in case communication is needed with somebody on the docks, I believe you can communicate with them much better than Vern can.
Unfortunately, Omen is a little bit more verbose than other animals. I will send them to the docks then.
Unfortunately, for a second, like Lena's like, hmm. Um, but she will take a seat somewhere on top deck and kind of like just like lay the halberd on her lap and kind of like lower her head a little bit so she can see directly through Vern's vision during the overhead flight.
I'll
Okay.
sit on some ropes on the top deck behind a Festiel and do a similar action.
Okay. I would like both of you to give me bird perception checks.
Birdception checks. Still a better perception than mine.
That's a 10 for Omen.
That is a 10 for Omen, correct.
Perfect. And then Vern. Vern roll.
Alright, let
Roll.
me-
Oh.
The owl is thinking about it real hard.
Vern has keen hearing and sight, so this will be with advantage.
Leave them alone. They just woke up.
22. That's what I did.
22. Okay, so I am going to start with the city as a whole, and then I'm going to zoom in. The city as a whole seems, as far as you are aware, pretty active, actually, being midday. Vern's ears is filled with the sound of song, working songs, ballads of many, songs of deeds of people adventures, things that have happened. You even hear, you see this, you see it, you even hear the sound of someone singing of a group of travelers who boarded a ship and took off into the cauldron. Though they have not been seen yet, word has it that they are traveling in search of a cure to do great deeds among these lands, yet no one knows of whom these people are. A mysterious lot. Will they ever come back? No one has thus far. Only time will tell should these heroes show their great and noble faces. In addition to hearing of these songs and these tales, Byrne sees so much and so much of nothing. People working. You as in Vern, you see women washing clothes and darning and mending garments, doing laundry. You see many a worker, some actually doing patchwork on some of the houses, sort of adding boards to windows and adding a great deal of like wood lumber panels to roofs, as if it's fix holes. You see a lot of just day to day of just people minding their own business, But what you do also see is a ruckus at the docks. We pan over to the lower wharves, as the upper wharves seem unchanged. But the lower wharves, of which you are trying to, dock at, the first thing that catches both Vern and especially Omen's eye is the fact that you would know that there are 3 different outward sort of bridge panels, right? Segments that go out into the water where boats and ships can dock at. One of these 3 has collapsed. Where the end, you see the 2 stokes, the 2 poles standing upright. And you see where it should connect to the main part of the docks. And yet, despite this, almost the entire section of dock, of which ships should be roped off to, aside from any of the stakes or poles that are holding up the frame, the entire middle segment is gone, missing. Omen, on a 10, would also note that the dockmaster is currently in the middle of a bit of a 3-way argument. Looks like they are dealing with some pretty frustrated sailors. You see every other post, which there are not many, but every other post of which a ship can dock at seems to be full with a ship. And this is the information that you both return with.
Lena would start speaking while she's viewing through Vern. She obviously cannot hear or see or sense people near her, but she's still able to talk at the very least. And she would mention the town abroad seems very busy. I hear people singing about us, maybe? In a good sense. People have somehow heard that we were going to the cauldron to look for a cure for a mysterious ailment. The other thing that I see is, was this area seen that had that where there's missing like dock? Would this perhaps be the area where we were skulking about the docks and saw the rot on some of the wood?
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Yeah.
Lena would
both Clem and Lena would recognize that.
Okay. Clem, do you see the dock space there as well?
Yes, I'm unsurprised it's visible from the rest of the city proper. The dock, the one of the main piers has collapsed into the water. It has taken out more than a third of the moorings available proper in Scald. It's what's caused the backlog. Every single tie is currently locked down by a ship, and the dockmaster is arguing with what I assume are captains and first mates.
That was the area where the fungal rot was on the dockboards and almost attempted to touch some of us.
I was not able to confirm from my point of view. I don't have the best sense of direction, but I was afraid as much. Thank you for confirming, Lena.
it must have rotted the wood away enough that it fell apart.
It does not change our situation. Captain, if we can lay anchor, we can have our 2 guests remain aboard to watch over the ship. We can take the dinghy to the shore, if you wish. Otherwise, you'll be waiting here for hours or day.
Clem, for some reason, you're not sure why, would go, would be happy to look after the ship uh, with our
No, you are
friend
coming with
here.
us.
Oh, I assume you meant Juji would be coming with you.
No, Sasha and Juji can stay aboard unless they have pressing matters within Skald. You certainly do. Captain, what do you think of this? They are stunned.
Hello? We're working now.
There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Headset died. I do think we should try to find a way to continue our business as hastily as possible. If Juji and Sasha are comfortable staying here, I know Sasha might be at risk if perhaps the Leaside Serpent was to find our ship unoccupied.
I can leave Omen here. That way they can contact me if there is a concern of any kind.
If that's fine with Sasha, then I think we should.
Plus, we will probably only be ashore for a few hours. We no longer need to have an inn since we have the ship to return to.
Admittedly, it might be a good idea if Sasha remained here on the vessel, considering our talks previously. Though it couldn't
If they
hurt at
are-
least to check with Sasha if they need anything.
If they are being hunted, then heading to the city of Skald might also prove helpful to them, as being attacked and tracked upon the vessel, there is very little place to escape outside of the waters below. I suppose leaving the solution to Sasha's problem to Sasha does make the most sense. Allow them to speak for themselves. If they do go to Skald, then perhaps I will stay back with Juji to make sure that nothing happens to the vessel.
I don't mean to interrupt or intrude, but I noticed that the ship had stopped. You mentioning leaving aboard, I'm assuming the dinghy? And you would like me to stay behind?
I assumed, and perhaps incorrectly, if that is the case, forgive me, that such social trivialities of a city would be too taxing for you.
I think it's a fine deal. I don't mind waiting aboard the ship. I can easily make it look like it's being manned.
That would be help.
I'll have to put on my acting skills, as I don't know too much about actual ships, but we can make it work, for sure.
Juju, you can do no wrong. We appreciate the assist.
Of course. And for our companion downstairs, they have opted in this moment to stay, well, hidden. But, of course, if I do need their help, they said that they are amenable to it.
Well, there you have it. Captain, shall Branson and I prepare the dinghy for us?
Yes.
Very well. Branson, can you assist me?
Yeet.
And as the two of you get the dinghy prepared, the five of you all all sitting in and getting settled, lowering it into the water below. I do have to ask who is taking up the oars. No, not
I
you.
believe.
Dex will, apparently.
She just wants to be a part of things.
Dex is like, one cat's on the ship, I have to go on the other.
We just occasionally hear Onyx doing Onyx things in the distance.
It's like she
Phantom
never
cat.
left. But yeah, Branson, I believe last time took up at least one of the like rows.
Okay.
So
Who shall take the other?
I believe that Clem and Branson were usually the two to do so, being the more muscly members of the group. Though Lena is also, I imagine it is a little bit harder to row when you are blind.
I would imagine
At least
like,
tangibly so, for sure.
I would imagine she's listening for when the other rower is like rowing and then like does so in tandem. But otherwise, yeah, it'd be pretty hard.
So, with that said, if you remember how this works, I'm going to need an athletics check from both Branson and from Clem, but keep in mind, you want them to be close together. 25.
I am immediately sorry.
No, it's fine. If I remember correctly, that was for like really difficult to navigate water when we were in the cauldron. Are we experiencing that right now where we are?
It's a bit turbulent, yeah. It is a
Okay.
bit turbulent on the Sing Song
I-
River right now.
I think I must have missed that. My bad.
Nah, I'm glad you asked, yeah. As you lower the water is choppy.
21.
21 and 25. You two are doing fantastic, actually. And for the sake of things, you two managed to navigate, because here's the thing, is not only is the water choppy, you're also navigating ship traffic, which is not necessarily the easiest at this exact moment in time. But as the two of you row together in unison, the five of you make your way into the area of the docks, where as you get much closer, you do in fact see, exactly as Clem had described, the remaining two piers fully docked, fully occupied by other ships, much smaller than yours, but nevertheless still fully operational and occupying much of the space. And as you get closer, there it is. You do see the singular pier completely just gone. You do see, now that you're much closer, where a little bit of evidence of the cave-in. But as you get closer, I'm actually going to open this up to perception checks or nature checks from the entire party.
Ha!
Woof.
All right, I'll take that perception.
No, this makes a lot of sense. No, we do love it when dice tell a story. This makes a lot of sense. Unless you two have different ideas, I imagine Branson and Clem, you both are pretty occupied rowing right now.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
I think that makes sense. Lena, visually, you got nothing, but auditorially, here's what you hear. Besides the choppiness of the water and the crashing of the waves, you do hear a lot of, well, can't you just shove them out? I'm sorry. All of the spots are full at this time. You are either going to have to go to the higher wharves, or you are going to have to wait. There's not much I can do about it without another pier. Well, what if I paid you more? I'm sure if you paid me more, you would find that money going to waste. You can either go to the high wharves or you can continue to wait in the Sing Song River. That is your choice and your prerogative. But I am so sorry, sir. I am unable to move anybody's boats at this moment in time. Lena, you hear that conversation in full. I would say, Razvan, you also hear that conversation in full. Festial.
Hi.
You see where the pier has become concave and collapsed. You see where the bend of the wood, from the wood that is still attached to the docks, seems to be bowing, and it's bowing downward. And on a 24 perception, you don't necessarily see what you would expect of the telltale signs of what you're looking for, what I know you're looking for, but you know what you do see? Tendrils. You see a giant tangle mess of whitish tendrils on the bottom of the boards going straight into the water.
Just for the sake of visual, is it like in strings, almost like dripping from the boards into the water? Or is it like moss or a creeper of some kind? Is it like curling along and then reaching towards the actual like posts on the pier, the actual uh, parts that go into the water and then curling down it? Or is it more like a stretching from the board to the water?
It's a combination of the last two that you described. So they're clearly, it's clearly solid, whatever it is. It's not like dripping. It looks like it's reaching out and like coiling and wrapping on whatever it can get a hold of. But because of where it's positioned as it goes downward, it really doesn't get like a hold of anything. So it's kind of like, the best way that I would describe it is if you've ever seen like
Bean
um
strings?
kind of like, and I'll just put it bluntly, like if you've ever seen roots of a plant in water kind of left to its own.
Yeah, suspended
Yeah.
roots. Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what you're looking at.
Got it. Suspended roots.
When we found the little trace of it on the dock or on the wharf the first time, was it on one of those extended docks or was it closer inland?
It looks like it was a little, it looks, well, from looking at it, you can't tell. But go ahead and roll with, actually, this would just be straight. Roll me a history check.
Okay. That's a 10.
It's possible. It's a little hard to remember exactly where it started, but you get the sense that regardless of where it started, it sure made its way at the very least. If it started on the docks, it went outward, and if it started on the pier, it went inward.
And is there any distinct discoloration on the wood where the tendrils have seated
It's
themselves?
a little difficult to tell from this position, but you can see just a little bit of black. Just a little bit on the wooden panels.
As he takes it all in, he turns to address the group. This is looking really bad. That tendril I think we found is either spread or there was more that we completely missed. I think that's what took the ducks.
That does make sense. It's unfortunate that it has traveled so grown so quickly. But still, it does not impede our immediate progress and needs.
If anything, I think it makes our task a lot more time sensitive.
Agreed, Captain.
I will say, you get the sense that as you're kind of drifting here, you get the senses just like the shout said for those who heard it. If you are going to make dock, you have a couple of options. One a little less conventional. You could either figure out a way to get onto the docks and tie a rope around one of the poles of the what's left of the pier, or you get the sense that you could, unless you can find a different place to put your little dinghy, you might have to go up to the upper wharves if you are going to dock even your dinghy.
Is there not a shore or anything we can?
No. The entirety of the span of the area from which, actually, technically speaking, if you're gonna get technical, yes, but not here, if that makes sense. So, if I pull up, let me pull up
Scald is
my
on a
map.
river, right?
Yeah, you are on a river. The thing
Is
about
it like a
it,
cliff shore or a rocky shore? Like there's no easy way
yes.
to pull up on it? Got it.
Yeah, so there is the lower wharves and the upper wharves. There's not really a shore because of the way that you're on sort of up on the edge of a plateau. There's a sort of rocky cliffside. I'm actually going to I don't have this on the on for the stream, but I don't mind sharing this with you all at this moment in time. I just won't explain what the numbers mean. There we go. So this, to give you kind of a visual, in our notes and handouts, should be a link to a map of Scald. And you will see, sort of by the way that it is drawn, that the edge of the city is up against a bunch of cliffs. Where the docks are kind of the only thing that sits on this side of the city, are the only things that actually sit in the water proper. That said, you do get the sense, though you would have to figure out a way to actually get up to level, up to the roads, there is a shore across the Sing Song River, all the way at where
So we'd
number
have to
14
cross
was.
that bloody bridge again.
Forgive me, for the sake of Zan. It seems like that seems to be the only obvious option, right?
So again, you can either use the pole, the poles, and figure out a way to go across the water to the docks, or you can go to the upper wharfs, or again, if you want to go all the way there, you could technically pass underneath the toll bridges, and you could go all the way to the shore across the way by where 14 is. So you have a couple options. Sorry.
What seems to be the most what seems to be the easiest of the options, the most obvious?
So here's what I'm gonna say above table. Clem, you would know the upper wharves are typically not fully booked. They're not fully blocked off. However,
Very expensive.
very expensive because they're up in Upper Scald.
Yeah, I even have that in my like OG
Mhm.
notes from when we were talking about
Mhm,
this. So
mhm. So you
I,
would
as we're
understand
kind
that,
of like looking for a spot, I think Clem would sort of point out, no easy place to dock. I was hoping maybe there would be a rock on low tide or something we could hop on shore, but it looks like our options are we head across the river and pull onto the some of the sandy shore there and head across the bridge, or there is always the very expensive upper docks for the more affluent side of Scald.
What's the day rate there?
I've never had enough money to be, nor a boat to be able to purchase it, so I could not say. I am sorry.
Well, then it seems to me it might be easiest to go to the other wharf and cross the bridge on foot.
It's less of a wharf and more of the. Yes,
Well,
I believe that is the way to go.
the shore, yeah.
Yes. And forgive me, my nautical terms are. I lack the proficiency as our Razvan. I'm not sure what a wharf is, if I'm being honest.
Well, that makes two of us.
It's quite right. The situation is a bit out of my expertise as well. Normally, the various ports would make themselves available if there is a jam or stoppage. The city would be losing a lot of money just having things sit here, but given the expression of the rot and how it has grown, I suppose caution is warranted. Captain, I leave the choice up to you, of course, but I would suggest crashing upon the opposite end of the Sing Song River and crossing the bridge by foot.
I agree.
All right.
So. No, go ahead.
No, you go first.
So, Clem Brenson, if you could steer our ship that direction.
Absolutely.
And with that, go ahead and one more time roll me athletics checks.
21.
21.
If we fail, we'll die.
See, there's a 1 and a 2 in both of them.
There is poetry in this roll.
So it is not that you don't get there. You are all jostled immensely by the choppy waves and the water traffic as you traverse upstream of the Sing Song River. And the way that I am going to sort of flavor this discrepancy is that Clem, are you on the starboard or port?
Clem is left-handed, so would probably be on the starboard side, as you want your strong arm away from the gunwale that you are against.
So the port, because there's more heft coming from Branson's size, right? Turns in the way that a boat would. Sorry.
My crew memory just came back as I actually would be the opposite because we would face backwards to row forwards because that's how rowing works.
Sure.
But regardless, it doesn't matter.
No, sure.
My brain just like auto corrected. I apologize for interrupting.
You're good. So the side, so whichever side you are on, the opposite side, Branson's side, because as you know, if you row more powerfully on one side, it is inclined to turn. That is the side that hits the sand and the rock on the dinghy. Like, sure, you sure do stop on the shore, but it almost flips the dinghy and I'm gonna need whoever is on that specific side of the whoever would seat themselves next or in front of or behind Branson. However you guys want to do that, I'm gonna need dexterity saving throws.
Uh-oh. Alright, I'll roll.
I was gonna say Branson's beside himself, and that's why he rolled
Yep.
a 7.
Yep. Yep. Because it would be it's seated. There are three sets, and each set is enough to seat 2 people. So whomever is gonna be on the side with Branson, it's got to be at least one other person.
Natural 20.
Get it.
Amazing.
Okay. Over.
Fan fucking tastic. Razvan, you in your expertise recognize exactly what is happening. Please describe for me what it looks like as Razvan is not thrown out of the boat.
Razvan just has his sea legs and is aware of how things would jostle from left to right. He kind of keeps his balance upward, not looking towards the waterline, but instead up towards the horizon, and tries to just keep balance that way.
Branson,
Yes.
what does it look like as you fall out of the dinghy and into the shallow water?
I would say Branson was probably trying to brace with his legs for rowing, even though this isn't one of those type of like rowing boats. And once there was a jostle, he just lost his balance, went ass over tea kettle, and just fell face first into the water.
Amazing, sploosh.
Blech!
Oh no.
My apologies. I can't help but feel like that was my fault. I was a bit distracted and was not pulling my weight. I hold my hand out to Branson to kind of like help him up.
Branson takes a hand, just like, nope, there's still a learning curve. We've only been sailing for a week and a half. Branson just starts counting on his fingers of how many days we've been gone.
You've been gone for over a week. It has
That
been
feels like a right amount of time.
It has been in total 10 days. Your entire journey.
Time is difficult to tell here, Branson. But it has been over a week.
Well, I'll find out exactly how long it's been once I have to settle with the innkeeper.
Indeed.
Now here's a quick little question about the dinghy before you all traverse. How exactly do you, I'm assuming you're gonna tie it off. Where and how exactly do you tie it off?
Upon getting to a place where they can peel off and try to secure it, Ophesiel is going to place his hand on the ground and protrude a long pole of dirt and rock to then tie the boat down.
Absolutely.
If I may
Maybe-
assist, I will grab the gunwale and I will try to drag it as much as possible onto like the sandy stone shore as well to get to like beach it.
And do you use rope?
I assumed that I was pulling it closer so that we could tie it more easily to the
Absolutely, I agree. I'm just asking, like, do you use rope to tie it off? Specifically?
Actually, since I believe he still has this, I think Branson will just take out his chain and just moor it down with one of his, like, pitons.
Okay, absolutely. Go ahead and mark
Listen,
it off.
man. Yeah, I've got a wheel lock for this boat.
Absolutely. It is
So yeah, I'm
locked,
so proud of you for knowing what a gunwale is.
Thumbs up.
locked and loaded. The trek back to the city is far less eventful than the last time that you went through. You all keep a passive eye and or ear out to the area around you. But as you do not see or detect any signs of, shall we say, suspicious individuals. You are able to find, though it is a bit difficult, a way up. So should you choose a way up the smaller cliffs using different tools and different methods as you have done before, finding yourselves once again by the old shacks, where, if you remember, you had first been accosted by a couple members of the cult with no name. Do you at all choose to stop here, or do you continue along to the main road?
I'd say Brance would probably like at least try to keep an eye on, see if anyone is trying to dig up what we've discovered under all of the Meeklebrow.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Will do. He has one of those days. He ain't see shit.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of Meeklebrow bush, or not Meeklebrow, Meekleberry bushes. There are a lot of Meekleberry bushes, and you remember there being like an overabundance in this area. So it's no surprise that you kind of get lost in the sea of green and red. Would anybody else want to do anything here, or shall we continue along the main road?
I'm going to continue.
Likewise.
With focused minds, you all continue along the main path. And it takes some time, probably no longer than like 45 minutes, an hour, for you to walk all the way over. But you do, and you cross the bridge. Your eyes spot the notorious fork in the road. Two directions sit in front of you, leading to two different toll bridges. My party, which path do you decide to go down?
Do either toll bridge make a difference?
Yes, they are quite different. We went through the lower Scald toll bridge last time. Generally easier to get through, as they don't question you as much. Potential to bribe your way through if you're not the most upstanding member of the city. It's what I had to do when I first arrived. That being said, it is bound to be very crowded at the moment. We cannot be the only people who had the idea to park on the opposite shore and walk across. The Upper Scald Bridge will be more expensive, less trafficked, and significantly more and a significant amount more scrutiny about it. I hope that answers your question.
Neither should be a problem, but I appreciate the insight. Captain, with this information, how do you wish to proceed?
Well, we are kind of in a hurry. We could try our luck with the upper Scald gates.
Very well.
I don't want to leave Sasha and Juji waiting for us for too long.
Roswell will head towards the more expensive gates.
So, before you, Two Rock Islands stand defiantly against the onslaught of the Sing Song River. Its choppy waves and rapid current clearly have have worn away any sort of sharp edges that might have existed on the islands in the past, leaving them fairly bland and featureless. Though they are only 100 feet apart, you recognize that each bridge clearly serves as some sort of anchor point. And you notice, just as Clem suggested, there's a line in both directions, both outbound and inbound, across the way upon the bridge leading to the toll garrison. In front of you, you see a very ornate stone garrison, and in front of it, at least from your side of the gate, 6 guards standing watch. And you can guess, based on the other side of the garrison, that there are likely more. In addition, you see 2 towers that stand almost looming over the river itself from the garrison. Ready, waiting, almost like they're watching. As the lot of you, I assume, approach, who takes the helm, so to speak? Who takes the front?
Razvan will head towards the front.
Okay.
I will stick close behind Razvan in case there any skull, jargon needs to be translated.
Sure. And
Branson will... Okay.
no, go for it.
I was going to say, Branson will take up the rear both to look out for protection and also because he knows he's not the talker.
Okay. Lena and Ephestial, are you both smack dab in the middle, or how are you positioning yourselves?
He kind of positions himself in between Clem and Razvan, letting them stand in front, but like also trying to make sure he's a part of the conversation.
Oh yeah, I love like Ephestial standing in the center, and then Razvan and Clem on either side, like your bodyguards.
Protection squad.
I just thought I'd make, Lena in the middle.
As the 5 of you approach, one of the guardsmen, who, by the way, unlike the guardsman that you saw on the other bridge, this man is decked out in half plate and some chainmail. He has a halberd at one side, his head covered in a helmet. He looks ready for anything. Oh there! You passing
Good
through?
Good evening, yes.
Evening. It's a bit early for that, I would think. Unless my time's off.
It's evening somewhere.
Fair enough, fair enough. I like your sense of humor. You're funny. State your purpose?
Just passing through. We have minor business and people to speak to in Scout.
Anyone of importance amongst you?
We have our captain, of course.
Captain! He kind of raises his eyebrows.
May I present Captain Ophestian?
I've never heard a name like that before.
They may not be
I
important.
get that a lot.
They may not be important to Scout, but they are important nonetheless. Now, may we pass?
Not without first paying the toll, of course. Let me see here. And he kind of just humming to himself looks over the lot of you.
I flash him a smile.
All right, I see 1, 2. I have a question above table. How many of you have your weapons out?
I imagine none of us.
My weapon is a stick.
Yeah, Clem-
Unfortunately, Unfortunately, Lena's weapon is just too big to be technically stowed away.
Yeah, halberds are something that like historically you would carry over like one shoulder or just uses like a walking stick most of the time.
I don't think any of us have our weapons ready. Like we're
Yep.
Right.
That's
Clem
more what I
doesn't-
was asking.
Yeah, Clem doesn't carry a weapon,
Mhm.
period. So like
Mhm,
Clem
mhm.
generally appears pretty like non-threatening.
It truly is a thing of like I know which one of y'all's has weapons that cannot be hidden. The question is, are they out? Are they ready?
Yeah.
Or are they just tucked away?
I refer
Clem's
back to
weapon
my
is fist.
yeah.
Fist.
For this, I refer back to earlier in the Discord. Yeah, Branson knows subtlety. That's what the holsters are for.
He sort of eyes all of you, his eyes passing over the weaponry. Well, given this lot, for the whole crew of you, it's gonna be gold a person.
Clem's eyes go fucking wide to that. It was like,
Ophestiel will reach into his pouch and hand him 5 gold.
He takes it, jingles the bag, opens it, looks through, makes sure that everything's there, tucks it away. Open the gates! And the big, loud cranking, the whirring of chain as the portcullis raises. And the path into Scald is yours. The city singing, literally, once again filling your ears, the sound of the water drifting into silence. As my party, I do ask, where to next? I find us some music.
As we are not necessarily not without our pursuers, do we will wish to stick together or find safety in separation?
I think for the moment that may be a good idea.
Which one?
Sticking together.
Very well. Then, Captain, I leave it to you. Where do you wish to go first?
I believe Branson is the one that has urgent business, and we should probably check on the thing that you left behind.
Yes, we're closer to the middle district, so I can easily drop this and see to my business with the blacksmith.
Very well. Branson, would you lead the way?
He will turn to Clem since we are in the upper district, which he has not been to.
Clem
You
is
were
kind of
there.
looking around with almost
Oh,
like
yeah?
a fond expression on their face, but we have been through the upper district, as that is where the smith is.
Correct.
Oh, I thought he was middle
But-
district. Oh.
No, there is no middle district. There is no middle district. There's Lower Scald and there's Upper Scald.
Mm.
Finally,
So
the middle
yes, the
class has been
blacksmith
destroyed.
that you. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
What is this,
So
modern
yes.
America?
Topical.
I was gonna say something written in the 70s. Yeah, how much changes from the 70s. Yes, I would say you have been in Upper Scald, however, you've not necessarily walked through from this point of the city. So I think to your point, I think it still makes sense for Branson to be like, hey Clem.
No, I think it does actually absolutely make sense. As I was describing, Clem is kind of like looking around with almost like a nostalgic look about them before just kind of, oh, yes, of course, right this way. Master Branson, Master Ophestiel, we should arrive. Oh, and Clem has the. We will pass through another toll. It is. I have been able to pass through this toll before without paying, if you simply explain that you are leaving the district after being there on business. But be careful, these guards have been known to extort their constituents.
If you do not wish to pay, Captain, I can be quite persuasive.
Well, we can certainly try. I just don't want to run the risk of incurring any more bad blood until we have our bearings again.
Bad blood will find us nonetheless, Captain. It is what we can and cannot afford.
Well, we have to go through it regardless. Let's just see what happens.
Very well. Rosalind will try to take point again.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the five of you traverse down the other bridge, moving towards the outer city walls, your eyes do pass over the upper wharves, as they would be, in this case, headed downstream or to your right. You notice, as previously mentioned, they're not super in use, as only one singular ship, very nice ebony colored ship with lowered sails and no flag, sits tied to one of 3 piers. Everything else remains empty.
Is it
Nevertheless,
recognizable? Out of curiosity.
I'm gonna say in this case, roll me a history check, but this is gonna be with disadvantage.
Ooh, disadvantage. Well. Bah. 15 with
15.
disadvantage.
I would say on a 15, you know that ship is owned by the Lucas family. But to what specific person, you don't know.
Is it something that I would, as someone who is not like, I don't frequent the Upper District, but I have been enough times to be familiar with the scene and the setting and like the general appearance of it. Is it common that it's there? Is it like normally docked there? Or is this abnormal?
When you do see it, it is normal for it to be in the upper wharves, yes, but it is not always there.
How much not always? Is this like, is it notably infrequent?
I would say on a 15, you're not sure.
I think either way, as the Lucas has been a topic of conversation, Clem would point towards the upper wharves and go, it makes sense that the Lucases can afford a docks even in these times.
Yeah.
Razvan will look fucking disgusted and not want to look at it any further and keep moving.
And as you pass, you approach the outer wall. Again, stood side by side, 2 guards stand in front of the portcullis. To note, though, something you find particularly interesting, despite the fact that there is the city wall here to your left or upstream, you do in fact notice there are a bunch of really expensive looking mansions that seem to have, either fencing or hedges or trees that are lining them even outside of the city walls, and they seem to be overlooking the falls and the cliffside, overlooking into the Sing-Song River. Peculiar, but you notice it. And once again, you are met with a ho there. State your purpose.
Quick question. This is something we jokingly established last time I had been at this gate. And it is a very low chance, but is one of these two, one of the guards, the guard that Clem flirts with?
Roll me with advantage a history check.
Okay. 16.
Yep.
I just
The
do
one-
the like hi wave with like the little tinkle of the fingers. I don't say anything. I leave Roswan in front. I just do the hi.
I will say with that high, Razvan, if I do at any point decide I'm gonna ask you for a persuasion check, if you so choose to try to persuade me, you will have advantage.
A good afternoon. Me and my
Good afternoon.
companions are attempting to enter the city, obviously. The docks were a bit full, so we decided to come through this way. We have business in Skald. May we pass?
With whom do you have business?
A few individuals, many of whom would like to remain, let's see, more private. You know how employers are.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
23.
23. I can understand that. There are a lot of people around these parts that do a lot of different things, and they don't necessarily like to trail where their money goes. I can understand that. For the 5 of you, though, it's gonna be silver apiece.
Kind of does the like nod head side to side thing. Like that's not that bad.
Rasvan will pull out 5 silvers.
He will
Sorry.
hold out his hand.
You know, you'd make a lot more money if you opened up the dock to everyone down there who's wishing to trade and end their day's labor.
I don't know. To be perfectly honest with you, with these specific wharves, the amount that is paid nightly is... And he kind of whistles. Quite the steep price.
And I suppose the day laborers of people who bring in supplies and food to the people of Skald will simply have to pay that price one way or the other.
I'm gonna be honest with you, son. I don't really know too much about the workings of the payment and how those things are set. I'm simply the guy who's paid to do the job.
Of course. Your coffers are full, so those who are in need, you do not need to worry.
He's sweating.
Come, Captain.
He's-
The toll is done. May we pass now?
He just kind of like nervously gestures like open it. The portcullis raises.
Ophestia will bow to him. Thank you. We'll be on our way.
We get absolutely toasted by some rando.
And again, the now Upper Skull is yours, and Clem, you know exactly where to go, where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you keep an eye out as you travel? You know, an occasional glance over the shoulder.
Why, sure.
Perception check.
Vern's head is on a swivel. Literally, he's an owl.
I have left. Omen is usually Clem's like eyes on the back of their head, so she's not used to like keeping their head on a swivel. Like that's usually Omen's job.
Mhm.
And Omen is back on the boat right now, so Clem is just.
So,
I'm sorry, I just saw that
if
nat one on the
Vern-
other side.
Yeah, 13. If you think Vern's head is on a swivel, go ahead and give me a birdception.
Birdception. 19.
19. And a 21. So, first things first. all three of you would notice this. As you walk along the streets, there are far fewer people here in general. There are still people walking, doing their going for strolls, going in and out of shops, of which you note most of them are in great condition. They are fully boarded, full buildings, complete with windows and a door. Some of them even have gardens or additional architecture, such as, I don't know, fountains, for example, or even walls, right? That might keep them closed off. You notice almost immediately, right? As, and again, all of you would notice this as you are all walking, people don't necessarily stop what they're doing, but you notice the occasional song wavering, the eyes looking at you and staring as you pass by. Various different expressions, some curious, some shocked, some appalled. On a 19 and a 21, you both would also notice that on occasion, the road patrol, usually 1 to 3 guardsmen, occasionally following you for like a block, then deviating elsewhere. You see kind of along other roadways that you are not passing by, passing through, but simply passing by, also have guardsmen walking in their patrols. The occasional horse, even, you see trotting. But eventually, you come back to the little blacksmith shop, of which it's been a little over a week since you were last here, but nevertheless, you do remember. And you have arrived. The symbol of the Blood Moon Guild still stays hung outside the door.
All right, this should not take long. And Branson will step back inside and see if he can talk with the blacksmith.
Absolutely. And something that you would note immediately that is different. The first time that you walked in, there was no chime, there was no bell. Now when you walk in, you hear the ding of a bell banging against the door as it opens. And you see the burly older man, if you can remember. He's currently actually, the sound also hits your ears of you hear the sound of hammer on metal against an anvil. You kind of look over around if you remember the sort of wall, not like full-blown wall, but kind of separates the actual forge area from the rest of the workshop. And you see the man standing there again, clearly pounding out. What you clearly can tell at this moment is looks like a sword.
Branson will give it a few tangs to see if he's near done, and if he's not, then he'll probably try to get his attention.
How do you do so?
I would say Branson would just kind of walk towards him and do his best awkward loom and just let his shadow get his attention.
Roll an intimidation check.
Do. Yeah, that's a 2.
That's fantastic. There's a moment where the hammer stops and Ode looks up at you with like a furrowed brow, like, "Can I help you, son?"
Branson just pulls out from his pouch, just holds up the whetstones. Just, "I'm here to complete the contract."
Ah, I was wondering what was taking you a minute. He holds out his hand.
Branson places it in there.
Looks it over. Interesting. Yeah, this sure enough is it.
If you want to test it, go ahead, but the magic's still in it.
He will actually take you up on that. He seems to pull a dagger off of the wall and runs it a couple times. You hear the shing, shing, shing. And then I'm going to roll a die here to see how successful he is. On a natural 20, you watch as he immediately throws it and it lands perfectly in the wall, where you now notice there's a couple of different dent marks in the wood. And it just sits perfectly wedged into the wood. Not bad, it sure does. And I believe I owe you a, let's just call it a weapon with unspeakable upgrades.
Indeed. At which point, I guess Branson would unholster his axe and hand it towards him.
He's gonna take it.
Mm-hmm.
And he will immediately sit over by his workbench, and he'll say, I have everything I need from you at this point. You gave me the silver. You got me my whetstone. It'll take me a minute to get this done, but I should have it by, well, no later than evening tomorrow.
Branson will nod and be like, all right, I will see you then. And he will head towards the door.
By the
let me
way,
double check. Mm-hmm.
before
Yes.
you leave, and he says this right as soon as you are in the doorway, I would keep an eye out. I know that we have kept this under the table, but I would just keep an eye out. People are talking about a snake man. I assume they're talking about you.
That's fair. My warning to you, stay away from the docks. The reason it took so long is that it's tied to whatever's destroying it. Destroying the wharf out there. He gestures towards the stone. Since
His
Branson
eyes
did...
kind of... Sorry.
I mean, Branson did tell him that someone had basically used magic to break into his shop.
His eyes are going to widen at that, and he goes, the docks, eh? I know I heard something about, what, a traffic jam out there?
It's tied to... The people who took your stone have a thing for odd fungus. One of those funguses tore apart the wharf to the point it collapsed, so no ship can dock down there. From what I've seen...
Yeah, I was gonna say, he makes an ew face at that, a
At that point, Branson actually gives he loses some of his tenseness and just goes, the empathetic I know shrug of, ugh.
Yeah.
But as far as I can tell, it has not moved anywhere near here, so you should be safe at night.
Well, if those kind of people are looking to raid my wares, I guess I better invest in higher security.
Well, he just points over to the divots in the wall where he started throwing knives. You're all right to making a good start.
That's fair. But I can't always keep an eye on this place. Tell you what. Again, I'll keep it below table. If you ever need a job, you ever need something to do, you don't mind spending a night or something, you know where to find me. I might be able to spare a couple silver, maybe a gold for your services.
I will keep that in mind. And Branson will nod and start heading out the door.
Okay. The ding-ling-ling can be heard. And pan over. What has the rest of the party been doing while this is all happening?
Patty cake.
was just about to say
Festival had
the-
pulled out a little piece. No. Hold on. Festival pulled out a little piece of yarn, and he's teaching Rosman and Clem and Lena how to make cat's cradles.
Clem surprisingly already knows how to cat's cradle and is like turned to the other one, and now Clem and I imagine Clem and Festy are like back to back teaching the other two.
Russell would actually not be in a very playful mood, keeping an eye out, being very uncharacteristically frustrated and agitated at the surroundings.
Roll me a perception check, Roswan.
18.
18. On an 18, you spot what appears to be an individual cloaked in what you clearly can tell are far more lavished garments. You see, let me double check my notes, I'm so sorry. You see an individual, an individual, he has like, quite the hat, not huge, but it's clearly made of like a dyed leather with a very nice feather in the hat, cloaked in, again, higher quality fabrics. You see reds and purples draped over a doublet that isn't super expensive, but clearly is on the upper end. This individual seems to be plucking at what appears to be a little lyre, and he's just been kind of eyeing you, like sitting under like a tree, just like an open tree, just kind of looking at you the entire time, not saying anything, not really doing anything, but definitely watching you as a crew.
He will send a message spell over to them. Is there a problem?
Message is not something. Not unless you have one.
Then why do you stare?
You ever see a group of individuals so grotesquely outlandish that it seems straight out of a story, and you can't help but watch and take note, and you can't help but wonder at what it is that they're doing?
You wish to see grotesque?
Not necessarily. After all, one must find their muse in the world, and I happen to think a great deal upon things a bit strange and abnormal. Please, I mean no offense.
You have a funny way of showing it. If you have business with me and my crew, you are more than welcome to bring it up to us. If not, understand, prying eyes will always be met with suspicion.
But of course. And he will actually tip his hat to you.
He'll nod, putting away a hostile spell to his finger that he was about to cast.
Go ahead and roll me an insight check, actually.
10.
Even on a 10, you don't necessarily think that he's not completely hostile. There is a very competitive look to that eye, very intrigued look to that eye, and he has no qualms with showcasing the fact that he has just spotted a motley crew running around what is clearly his neck of the woods. While he was being honest with you, you cannot help but keep in mind the fact that this is a place where people do, in fact, carry both a political and a competitive streak.
He will leave them be then. If he's gonna leave the group alone, he's not gonna bother his friends who are playing with yarn.
you do get the sense that he's kind of like, you guys look like you're dressed for. I mean, like, you just came from hell, literally from hell and back, and here you are playing Little Game of Cat's Cradle in the middle of the road. Like, yeah, no, he doesn't. Yeah, no, he's a little competitive. He's curious, but also like your friends are just playing Cat's Cradle in the middle of the road.
He's jealous.
And as Branson reemerges, Branson, 3 of your party mates are currently enraptured in a game of Cat's Cradle.
Branson like looks out there, just like has a look up. What did I expect? And it's like, I'll have to return tomorrow evening, but otherwise I have no more business in this district.
Well, do any of you wish to see any of the sights of this area before we head out? I don't imagine we're on a bit of a time crunch, but it's also expensive to get back in here, and there are some nice parks.
I have but one place in mind in all of Skull, but it can wait.
I'm like cocks an eyebrow at that curiously, like, okay. But we'll kind of brush herself off, stand up, and he turns towards Branson. Well, where to next then? And then he realizes that he looked at Branson, looks to Hephaestiel. Captain.
Hephaestiel actually looks at Razvan. What has been on your mind about here lately?
Skuld is sick. These lands are sick. The rot exists, yes, and it does choke out what little life the day laborer may have. But it is beyond that. Those with power, influence, and in this case, money, do nothing to help those who are suffering and in need. My business is with Hark and Lucas.
Razvan, you're
Yes.
starting to sound like a Meistersinger. Or at least a prospective one.
Meistersingers. What good is power if you do nothing with it?
Plum smiles as you say that, like seemingly contented with your response.
But as confronting this powerful individual and potentially their family may bring more ire and eyes upon us, it might be wise for us, Captain, to handle that last. And if you so choose, I will follow your lead in which not provoking that bear at all, if you feel it is best for the crew. But this is a passion that has been burning, simmering to a point inside me. It harms me to stay quiet when I see so many suffering.
Hephaestiel will nod in your direction, as if to, he hears you and understands and agrees even. Yeah, I do feel the same way, but it is not present concern right now. Clem, if there's nothing else that we can do that will further our agenda here, then we should head back into the other district.
Clem bows towards you, not in like a mocking way by any means, in a like in a manner of acceptance before moving towards the exit of the district. Well, Master of Hephaestiel, Captain of Hephaestiel, after you.
This is where
And
above
Yee.
table I ask. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
All good. I was just gonna say I begin leading the crew towards the exit.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the lot of you head towards the middle divide, having no issue truly getting from one side to the other, as you simply pass over. In this case, you pass through a couple of decorative bridges. And passing through walls with gates very easily at this point, as you get the sense that from coming from the upper district to the lower district, they're more willing to just let you through. And I have to ask in this moment, as the lot of you find yourselves in the far more decrepit, far more decaying, far more packed and busy Lower Scald, where to next?
I mean, Lena would certainly suggest heading to the split bore to resolve that situation first.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that was my suggestion.
The 5 of you easily find your way back to the split bore. It's decrepit and decaying exterior, no different, completely unchanging from where you last left it. Let me actually move us there in just a moment. Give me just a second, my lovely team, my lovely crew, as I prepare this map for you. I just gotta put y'all's tokens on it real quick. I appreciate your patience. Okay, let me get you in walking order as well. I appreciate your patience.
You're good.
All good.
I'm nearly there, I promise.
Been there.
Above game, I'm just loving the fact that I just realized that I rolled a cleric that doesn't realize he just gave up his own holy symbol.
Alright, and then you should, keyword should, as I bring us over to the map, you should, as you walk in, be able to move your tokens about the place. It's pretty empty at this point of the day. You do see a familiar visage of blue, purple, and green duding their flute, a very chipper tune this time around, and next to them is sitting an individual with more like strawberry blonde hair that's been pulled into pigtails, less gaudy, less bright clothing, very plain in browns and in whites, and they seem to just be playing like a small hand drum in tune with the flute. Our world's favorite bartender is standing at the bar, just washing the same spot with a cloth over and over and over again, his eyes kind of downward cast, not quite at the floor, but like somewhere off in space, and his entire visage just permeates a devoid sense of emptiness.
All right. Well, Branson will head over Oh, you control my token.
Oh, you need it? Okay, give me a second.
You're good.
Give me a second. I'm gonna have to actually move you because the roll 20 is causing me a problem for a second. It's really weird. There you go. You should have control of your token. And I'm gonna double check that for everyone to make sure that that's
I definitely do.
dandy. Okay, yep, you should be good.
All right.
You should
well,
be
like I
good.
said. Say, Branson would just head over to the
Head-
bartender and go see about settling up.
He's again just kind of wiping the same spot over and over and over again, and as you approach, his eyes slowly raise up.
Yes, I'm sorry. We were detained and led outside the city for a while. Did you keep the item that I left in the rooms?
I have not seen anyone go into those rooms.
Well, then Branson will pull out the, as was approximated, the roughly 10 gold that he would owe for the time they were away. Just pass it over to him. I'll retrieve my property. We will have no use for rooms for the night, but we will probably have some drinks here in a moment.
Very well. How many?
Branson, let's look over. 8 drinks. 7 ales and 1 rosé. Or whatever wine you have.
He nods. Slowly ambles over. Reaches into his pocket, pulls out a key, unlocks the door, and with the squeaky hinges, he heads into the back room and shuts the door. And is there anything else you would like to do while you wait for the bartender?
No, I'll just wait and let anyone else go.
Okay, sure. Let's start with I'll comment in order that I saw movement. Razvan,
Yes.
I saw you move over to the table with Lena. What is happening between Razvan and Lena?
Rosvan simply sat down to have his back to the fire, so be easier to read his journal as he begins to kind of pen a message to his mother, as he tends to do, even if he has no real intention of sending it.
Okay. And Lena?
For the moment, she's just leaned her halberd against the wall and is just taking a load off, at least for the time being.
What does that look like with that moment of reprieve that you have in just being able to just kind of slump?
She would be just like leaning forward slightly and just like it almost like she's rubbing her temples, kind of like maybe a finger's like maybe almost like inadvertently like picking at the top of the bandages a little bit. But otherwise, she does have like a little calm smile on her face. Like she's not rubbing it like she has a headache or something, but it's just nice to not have to focus on something for a moment.
And Clem at the hearth.
Clem has made their way over to the hearth and is really just warming their hands by the fire. They probably make eye contact with Angelique and offer a nod of the head respectfully. but really don't do anything other than warm their hands by the fire.
Sure.
Small little note about Clem. Clem literally just likes looking at fire.
It's very pretty.
He's very pretty. Like there's nothing more about it. It's not even like an arson thing. It's just kind of likes fire. Fire's kind of nice.
And Festial.
Ophestial wanted to maybe prod a little bit, so he very casually meanders his way over to where Angelique is with this unfamiliar face. Why, hello there. Angelique, was it?
Why, yes. That is the name that I do go by, and I do go by it very, very well. A Festial, was it?
Correct. You actually remembered. I'm surprised.
Hard to forget a lovely face like yours, if I do say so myself.
It takes one to know one, I'm afraid.
Eyebrow waggle.
I'm curious. We've been out of Scold for quite some time, and things seem to be awfully lively here. Is there something going on?
Ah, you want to trade in tales?
Perhaps.
That, and they like stop, they put their flute down and like do the little scoot. The chair is locked in place, but if you can imagine them like scooting the chair towards you. Well, if I may be so bold, there were quite a bit of few, shall we call it, kerfuffles maybe? A bit of, oh, I don't know, drama here and there as the days have gone by. Of course, I'm sure you may have already heard of it, but if you have not, there seems to be an issue at the piers. One of them appeared to have collapsed not 3 days ago. Has caused quite the bit of, I would say. And they kind of wiggle their fingers very dramatically. Scandalous upheavals to people's schedules. And of course, with the issue of trade and import and goods only lasting for so long, the fact that there are only a few spots left and nobody wants to pay that wretched tax for sitting their boat alongside that of the great Lucases. Although I have heard that it is typically off hands, private property for those who are not in good favor with the man, though of course every pocket can be filled. I'm sure you understand. And of course no one wants to deal with that. No one wants to pay that fee. No one wants to persuade in that way. And thus the traffic jam of a century, boats lining up the Sing-Song River in hopes that maybe one day soon they might make port. And if not, I have heard rumor that some are willing to take their ships down south, as far down as Harmonia, just to make port and to potentially sell off their goods. Of course, if that does not suit your fancy enough, I would be happy to trade another tale, of course, for the price of 2.
It sure is fascinating. Yes, I did hear a little bit of the sailors' conversations as we returned via the Sing-Song River ourselves. In fact, if you'd like, I did happen to catch a glance of what is causing it.
Oh, and you can see them folding their fingers, putting it on their lap, putting their chin on their fingers, and looking at you very expectantly.
So he kind of darts his eyes back and forth and then scoots in and leans in, resting his elbows on his crossed legs. So, as a matter of fact, 2 of the docks have been completely destroyed.
2? Go ahead and roll me a deception
That's
check
right.
with advantage.
Wait, was it? I thought
With
two.
deception with advantage, because it's only one. Unless, of course,
Yeah,
you want
2 docks were
I was gonna say,
absolutely
am
packed
I?
to the brim with people. 1 dock was collapsed in the water. Just to
Oh, okay,
make
that's
that
my
clear.
bad. I'm not trying to deceive. I thought that
Okay,
I
I
heard
was
that
gonna
there was
say, I
one.
mean, that's
I thought I
juicy
heard
if
that
you wanna
one
do
was
that.
gone. Yeah. No. I thought you said that one was gone and the
No,
other was
one is gone, 2 are
destroyed,
packed
and then
with
there was only
people.
one left. Okay. Okay, that's my bad. Rewind. I'm not trying to deceive.
Interesting. What, pray tell, made it collapse?
Well, that's the interesting part. My crew and I discovered about a week and a half ago that there were these odd white tendrils on part of the docks that had been actually rotting it away. As we approached, it had expanded into whatever. I don't know if it decayed away and it just collapsed, or if it was maybe weakened so much that a passing wave just took it out. I'm not sure. But I should warn you to be very wary of any of this that you might come across. I'd hate for something unfortunate to befall such a charming person.
Well, I don't imagine that I personally would be going by any of the docks anytime soon. But it's incredibly interesting. You said it was some type of fungus?
Yes, we've seen it all over, actually, not just in Scald, but on the road here and in the river. It's black, and I've seen it in many different places. It doesn't really seem to matter whether it's on land or water, but just be wary of it. Along with the occasionally accompanying white tendril, mycelia.
That's quite the word, mycelia. Is that anything like roots?
Correct, yes. Specific to fungus.
You are quite the knowledgeable lad, aren't you? I personally do not know much about the, shall we say, great outdoors, but that's definitely good to know, and I will definitely keep that in mind.
Well, it happens to be my field of study, so if you do ever find yourself curious. Now, you did say there might be more to your initial story, if mine suffices enough.
Well, I mean that's good for one, of course. But naturally speaking, if we're talking a story for a story, I have heard a bit of, oh, I don't know. Again, disgruntled people will be disgruntled and you will find them anywhere, but in terms of kerfuffles and conflicts, much like that of the docks, I have heard rumors of discontentment of a grand scale over by the sawmill. Something about backlogs and things not being done properly, and something about, oh, I don't know, issues with the wood, perhaps? Like they're unable to provide enough lumber for those doing construction.
Well, based on all of the research we've been doing so far, I wouldn't be surprised if the lumber mills have fallen victim to this unfortunate rot spread as well.
I think there is. There seems to be some sort of disconnect in communications between those doing the lumberjacking and those doing the, shall we say, preparations at the mill itself. Some sort of, I don't know, miscommunication, as it were, or lack of communication therein. I don't necessarily know everything about what it's about, but of course, when you do walk around the streets and occasionally do your rounds, you do pick up on a few things here and there. But
Well,
that is
that's
about as
cer-
much as I know in terms of kerfuffles and, shall we say, conflicts and drama.
well, definitely lots can happen when you're gone for some time.
You watch as they lean in closer because as you've gotten the indication, a story cannot be shared without a story in return.
Hmm. Let's see. Oh, I do have a juicy one. How would you like to hear about a mysterious ship in the mists?
A ship in the mists. But aren't the mists deadly?
They can be,
Clem
but
laughs out loud, just like they're kind of half listening, and then you just hear from across. Sorry.
my boisterous friend over there has actually taught us much about interacting with the mists.
Their
They
eyes kind
appear
of
to only
widen.
be
Sorry.
They appear to only be deadly if you match their intention of having ill will, but if you accept them and try to get along with them, it's almost like treating them like a person. They they react positively. It's really fascinating.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm not sure I'm brave enough to test your theory, but that is very interesting. Please do go on. What is this about a ship?
So, as we were making our way up the river, that just it. The mists grew thick and dense, and suddenly a whole other vessel just appeared out of nowhere. Completely unmanned.
Was it
In
just
fact,
drifting?
it was, kind of. That one, I'm still struggling to ascertain how it was making its way to us, but we crossed paths with it indeed, and the real interesting part is we harbored to guess that it actually didn't even come from Kartakass.
Eyes widen even more. Brows raised.
It's
Then
true
where
that,
from?
well, we don't know. See, a few of my traveling party is from Kartakass, and everything on that ship was absolutely strange to them. And some of the left behind journals we did get to read were not speaking of any place that was anywhere recognizable to either of them.
Did you get a name?
Unfortunately, no.
Hmm. Well,
We came upon it by random chance, or perhaps the mists brought it to us. I don't know.
I don't want to say that I doubt you. After all, you've given no reason for me not to believe you, but do you have some sort of proof that this thing exists?
Ophistiel will dig around in his bag, and he'll pull out the ingredients list that they found on the ghost ship.
Well, and
This
I will tell you
was
this. So I'm so sorry. With as crusty as that thing looks to begin with, their jaw drops.
yeah. Unfortunately, not a whole lot was salvageable, but this was one of the pieces we found on that ship specifically. I don't think it means much of anything, but this is as much proof as I have.
Millel be damned. That's incredible. I mean, what even is it? I mean, it's a book, yes, but like, what even is it?
I think it's just a list, perhaps components or ingredients for something. I don't know. It didn't really seem too interesting to all of us. Nothing sparked any ideas of what it could be for, but I don't know. I wanted to keep it as a memento.
Well, I mean, if you're in the look, if you're in the realm and or career path of solving mysteries, like you do seem to be, I might point you in the direction of the local. I don't know if the best word would be to call her a scholar, a diviner, but Ms. Lear, Madame Lear, the Lear estate,
Oh,
she might have a
yes.
thing or
We
two. Oh,
have
you've heard.
been acquainted with Madame Lear. In fact, I do plan to go see her again.
Well, she might be just the person to talk to about that. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, I do appreciate you sharing your tales with me. I'll be very interested to hear more about the grand adventures, journeys, and exploits of one, a Festial Omen.
I am more than happy to deliver my tales to you.
They kind of give you like a side-eyed glance with like a very devilish smirk. Well, if you don't mind, well, I do definitely appreciate you sharing a bit of information. I will have to continue and resume my set, at least to earn my dinner, but after I'm finished, I might, if you all are still here, I might poke you again. I see the rest of your crew is, I would say you all seem to have a very mixed set of expressions on your faces.
Yes, we're all varying degrees of exhausted from our travels. We will be in Scald for at least the next day. If you do find yourself wanting more company.
Well, you know where to find me. I do have my usual places if you want to cross paths with me deliberately. I sure will be here. And
Uh,
sorry?
no, go for it.
I was gonna say, unless there's anything else you want to say, as your conversation comes to a close, I think now is actually a really good time for us to take a quick bio break.
Sounds good to me.
Yee.
I didn't mean to interrupt you if you had anything else you wanted to
No,
say,
you're
Cass.
good. I was gonna end the combo anyway, so.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let us take a quick break.
Alright, BRB.
My money is on. This is the reason why people are starting to sing songs about us, like solving mysteries up the river. Though if we inspire a bar in every town we come in, go ahead.
Oh, I just was gonna say I didn't know Festial was the Rizzler. Damn.
Yeah, while we're in town, we need to get them a tricorn hat and like a duster. I mean, you are right, Booyah. Captains are sexy. Oh, I just realized. Since we are treating them as a completely, like, actual, like, nominated captain, now Festival may be able to marry folk. So, we got some side hustle.
Rue.
Have them do the ceremony on the ships. That would be like, yeah, you're married in international waters now. No one cannot recognize you. That's how that works. I'm also gonna feel super bad if this barkeep actually goes upstairs and tries to bring down the orb instead of having Brandon just walk up there and grab it. Also point out, since we got a lot of people that joined us as we played, there will not be a Those Who Wander in 2 weeks' time, as we'll be letting Alpha recover from his surgery. So look forward to us in another month's time.
Ugh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
You fucking should be. How dare you take care of yourself? How dare you have unnecessary surgery in order to have a better body experience? That is fucking diabolical.
Weh.
I've also in the background been thinking about how I'm going to sell ghost insurance, Skelly, ever since the start of the stream. Like, normally my brain would go to, like, you know, it's insurance against ghosts, but it's insurance I'm supposed to be selling to ghosts. What do I insure them for?
Other ghosts. It's a lot easier to convince a ghost that they need ghost insurance.
I mean,
You
true.
don't have
with
to do
Blair.
the whole, like, convincing that ghosts exist.
Well, true, because we also have Blair that'll be coming right up behind Dreary carrying that fucking scythe.
I'm just saying, if you convince Blair, the two of you can have a, like, really solid ghost and then fake, like scam ghost insurance, play. Like, I think it's definitely possible.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome
How
back.
dare.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Just vibing.
Just
Yee.
vibing. I gotta ask. I think at this point, sound off. Leah, you here?
1, 2.
Vaughn, you here?
Yee.
Kaz, you here?
Maybe.
Skelly, you here?
Yeah.
Dan, you here?
3, 4.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I got you, Leo.
Are y'all ready to jump back into it?
Yee.
Amazing. Fantastic. We resume and return. Ephestial, just having finished his lovely conversation with Angelique resumes duding the flute. It is, like I said, a very chipper tune. It is a very upbeat, not so much so that it feels overwhelming, but it's definitely a much lighter feel than perhaps what the rest of this building feels like. And after a little bit of time, the bartender does come out with 7 mugs of ale and a glass of, it appears to be a more of a clear, it has the fizz to it, but it is more of a clear liquid. Not much of a coloration or tint to it.
Branson knows the gist of different kinds of wine. He just doesn't know what it is. So he'll nod, and then he'll be like, I'll take these, and then I will go procure my my property from your rooms.
He just slowly nods and then proceeds to, like, once you pick up all of the glasses, he just kind of wipes underneath it with a rag.
Branson nods in the good talk nod with his fellow mood kindred and heads over here to start dropping off drinks for everyone. They didn't have rosé or any red wine. This is the best I could get as he sets down the glass.
I believe my palate is not receptive to rosé right now. I appreciate the drink nonetheless.
Branson will nod. Sit down. Hound lay his drink, and then he will head upstairs to get the orb.
Alrighty. And as we move up the stairs, let me bring us there. You should be able to move your token. Yeah, there we go.
Yep. Alright. I'm trying to remember if we did put it in the... No, I think we just left it in the room because we discovered that
It
this
was
was a
in the
trapdoor.
center of the room with a blanket over it.
Yep.
As you walk in, you do not see a blanket.
Gonna assume I don't see an orb either.
Yeah, you don't see an orb either.
Branson's just going to breathe in, breathe out, and then he's gonna spend 10 minutes in this room. Rachel casting detect magic, so you can come back to me as you wish.
Sure, absolutely, I can do that. I think that's very amusing. So yeah, 10 minutes go by, and Branson does not return from upstairs. I gotta hide his token real quick.
No, there's two Bransons.
There's two Bransons. But
Inside
yeah.
us, there are two Bransons.
But yeah, 10 minutes go by. He does not return within that 10 minutes.
I'll like look across the group trying to make eye contact with someone.
I'm gonna roll something. Give me a second.
Um,
I don't know why I'm rolling when he doesn't have eyes at work.
Hey, I don't know what you were doing. Like I looked across the group, but like I wasn't expecting you to speak up.
Lena just
Yeah, I
gets,
figure
like, a
since-
supernatural feeling.
like someone needs me.
Something just happened.
Yeah, Ophastiel would have probably like something bad happened.
Yeah, as I meet singular eye contact with you, I cock the eyebrow over my good eye.
Our
and
singular eyes.
gesture, yep, gesture towards the thing. Oh yeah, because you also have the like one. That's so good.
Yeah. He just nods and starts to head upstairs to see what's up.
Yeah. Let us.
That is how you make a salad.
Yeah, that is how you make a salad. Let us move.
Sorry,
No, you're
horrid
good.
joke.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, empty hallway. No sign of Branson.
Is the door to their room open?
Branson never said that he closed it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Branson didn't close because he didn't expect to be in here long.
Yeah. So he walks in.
What does he see?
I would say he sees Branson at this point now that he's finished ritual casting. He is now literally just flicking his tongue out into the air, though he will also notice that since Ophestiel shared this room with him, there's definitely not a sheet or an orb under it in the center of the room where they left it.
Well, that's unfortunate. And he'll probably very, what's the word? Knowing that it's probably not going to help them out at all, he'll start like looking at their beds and like checking the cabinet that was in there,
Roll
just
me a D100.
to see if he can't spot that it ended up somewhere weird. Oh boy. That's a 6.
On a 6. So when you open up the chest, you see someone's left boot. You see what appears to be like a half put together mess kit, so like the silverware and like a cup. And you see what appears to be a crumpled up piece of parchment.
He'll grab the parchment and see if there's anything scribbled on that.
It appears to just be a blank piece of parchment, but it is crumpled up.
Okay. Okay.
So, as with the other places that we've investigated when stuff like this happened, is there any residual traces of magic in the room that he can detect?
Not currently, no.
You're gonna watch as Branson stops scenting the air with his tongue, pinches the bridge of his nose. Should have expected this. Should have expected this. No, of course. Well, I mean, as far as we could tell, it was inert, so someone has a 40-pound magically inert ball. Just holding up his hands as if he's trying to contain his anger.
Above game, I know we had talked about this and what it was for. I just don't remember. Could somebody remind me what the orb was for?
We took it because it was in what we now pretty much assume was a cult with no names area outside of Melancholy. It was something we could not destroy from a ritual there, and so we figured it was better for us to carry it than just leave it there. As far as we could tell, most of the magic was gone out of it, but it was basically 40 pounds of dead weight we were carrying around because it's better us than the evil guys possibly finding it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not particularly dangerous, is it? I'm not really sure how important it is to figure out where this thing is right now, unless it is going to serve some sort of ill will towards us later.
Branch just shrugs. As far as we could tell, Lena had a vague idea of what it was. It was some kind of catalyst, but he just waves his hand around. We both know I don't understand how magic works, despite as he just flicks his fingers and a spark goes between them.
But are you saying that was someone's spell focus?
What is a spell focus?
It's something I suppose innate mages use to facilitate the energy so that we can cast more accurately. It helps with control and whatnot. But I suppose if that thing isn't here, I only have one idea of who would have taken it.
The cult?
Well, actually, that's not true. I suppose a lot of people could have taken it.
Well, according to the
I
innkeeper,
don't
no
know.
one has been in these rooms since we left, so my money is on the cult since they were already
Well-
breaking into. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I mean, they could have been in here without the bartender knowing.
That was what I was going
Maybe
to
no
allude
one's-
to.
Yeah, no one stayed in the room since we left, but that doesn't mean nobody got in here. Is your spell picking up anything?
Nothing, which means that probably nothing has happened in the last week or so. So it could have been as soon as he left, and it's long since passed. There's no way to tell.
Well, we can keep an eye out for it, I guess. There's really nothing we can do about it now.
On the upside, it's a 40-pound weight off my shoulders. You just watch the rolls one shoulder, and you hear an audible pop.
Yeah, well, in the future we can leave any, deadweight items on the ship.
Alright. We will cross this bridge when it comes to kill us. I want to go to have my drinks.
Yes.
And we'll head back down.
Sure thing. And let me grab Branson. There you go. After a couple more minutes, the two of you reemerge. Down the stairs. Has anything changed amongst the rest of you in the short time that the two of them went from upstairs to downstairs?
I actually was going to check in on Razvan.
Okay.
Razvan will probably be done writing at this point.
You would maybe feel or sense in some capacity Clem kind of wander over and just kind of sipping at the ale. They're a bit of a nosy bitch. They're looking over your shoulder at what you're writing.
Can I interest you in something?
Oh, my apologies. Bad habit. Just curious as to what you're doing.
Letters home to my mother, assuming I ever get the chance to send them.
Clem just kind of nods solemnly. Then she'll grab a stool from one of the other chairs and kind of sidle it up and sit next to you. I hope I'm not prying, but you seem a bit more melancholy than your usual self, I should say. Are you all right?
That is a question. One I have not, I suppose, stopped to ask myself. I was useless back there, Clem. In every fight we've encountered since arriving here to Kartakass, and even before that, I have fallen helplessly to try and assist my friends and now my crew. But
I'm
worse,
just kind of stroking their chin as you're talking. Continue.
but far worse than that. I struck out from my homeland in order to try and find what I believed was missing. My muse. My source of inspiration, I thought I was blinded by grief in losing it, but no. I fear I never had it in the first place. And now, I fear I have found it. For the first time. I feel renewed, reforged, but not in peace. In rage, Clem. My heart beats, it yearns with warm blood for the first time in all of my being. I crave power to make change in this world, to cure it of its sickness. And if nothing else, to be a strong sword for my crew and my friends, rather than one that sings honeyed words that do nothing.
And what was it that you found?
A rot. One that twists and binds and breaks until everything is but ruin and debris of its former self. That same twisting, insidious darkness that I see, that we all have seen around Skald and beyond, is one that but mirrors my own soul. And I found myself wanting to break and change that disease as much as any of us would for these lands, but also within myself.
It is much simpler to tend a garden with many weeds than one that is finely kept.
I
have a question.
Go ahead.
In those battles where you say you fell, where you did, in your words, nothing, those blows which took you low, were they meant for you, or were they for everyone?
I suppose I see the line of where your questioning leads. Sure. My essence was mine to give to my companions. A blow to me was not a blow suffered from another. But for me, that does not suffice for my ambitions. I want to be strong enough not to be able to be hit, but to strike down that which would cause us harm in the first place before it has a chance to do any damage.
A good gardener knows when to clean the area prior to the overgrowth. But a good gardener also knows when a certain amount of loam is necessary. Be careful not to lose yourself and trim too much.
A sound piece of advice again, but Clem, I believe this is the first time you are truly meeting myself. My entire life I have tried to be whatever I thought I was supposed to be for others. What you see now, what you hear now are not the words of placation or manufactured peace, but of raw, true self, a mirror to my soul. I do not know if I could lose myself, because I'm just beginning to find who I am.
Tom kind of leans on the table and seems they're still kind of stroking their chin, but they seem to consider that heavily for a moment before they hold a hand out towards you. Well, then, a pleasure to meet you, Razvan.
He'll nod. Finally,
letting go of that scowl a little bit, and will shake Clem's hand.
I hope we get to know each other better in the times to come, as I fear I still have yet to learn that lesson of keeping words of placation ready at the hip.
Honey
My
is
tongue
sweet.
still speaks words that others wish to hear.
Honey is always sweet. But the silver tongue, just like anything silver in these lands, is a weapon.
Then may yours strike true.
And with yours.
I hold my cup up towards yours.
Narok.
Chin chin. Ah, looks like our companions have returned.
I was gonna ask, Lena, you just been sitting there holding your mug the entire time?
At this point, she's been like quietly listening with like a little like perked smile on her face. She did not want to interrupt.
Yeah, as that happens, and Clem's like, "Ah, our friends have arrived." Yeah, Branson and Hephaestial walk down the stairs, and everyone is apparently congregated over to the one table. And I would say because stealth is stealth, but you two are looking. Branson and Hephaestia would both notice that Angelique has moved from their chair to now like no longer playing the flute. It is now
Stealth
sitting
only
behind
applies if
the-
there's line of sight, you know, right? So the two of us are facing away. It makes sense
Yep.
that like we wouldn't notice it, but like
Yep.
you come down the stairs, it's just right there. There's
Yep.
nowhere to hide.
It's just clearly is also just sitting there, makes eye contact with both of you, and just quietly waves. As like clearly, and that like, you know what? No, I'm gonna ask for an insight check on both for both Hephaestial and Branson on Angelique.
Oh boy.
Oh, right. That's a 17.
22.
This is not someone who's trying to interrupt for the sake of comedy. This is not someone who is trying to, you know, be the hee funny bit. I know we're giggling amongst ourselves, but like in truth, no, this is the expression of someone who is a dirty fucking gossip and is eavesdropping on a conversation they definitely shouldn't have been a part of. And you also get the sense that no one else in the party noticed their stealth as they over and scooted between stools.
I got a 10 passive perception. They'd have to really fuck up for me to notice.
Yup.
I would say, picking up on that, Branson would just, to both get Clem and Rosbon's attention, as well as possibly unscare her out of stealth, he'll just reach out with thaumaturgy and make the fireplace flare.
Oh, Angelique, I did not notice you approach.
I did not want to interrupt. It seemed as though your conversation was very, very engrossing and incredibly important.
Important to you as well.
No, just important to those involved.
Clem smiles, but not with their eye.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then why don't you have a story to trade, or some gossip, since you have taken ours?
I suppose that's fair, although I did offer quite a bit of gossip to your captain earlier today. But
I'm
since-
afraid I am not our captain.
But since the laws of the land are the laws of the land, you are in your right to request one of me, I suppose. Give me just a second.
was gonna say, Brandon's gonna move back over to the table.
Is that like an awkward waddle, or does he just like...
No, Branson realized that he, like, because the insight that he's just like, he outed her and there's just going to be an awkward silence. He's going to completely ignore it, sit down, and start working his way through his first ale.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, that makes total sense. Sorry, I am looking through all of my notes to see what I can share. So give me just a brief moment.
Oh no, absolutely. Clem just, after being informed as to what's happening, Clem is absolutely using their knowledge of the land to their advantage here.
Mm-hmm. And again, just as they said, as is their right, she is more than entitled to request that. Oh, I did hear of a little thing. I heard of a duo of travelers seemingly on the run. Witnessed them in the night as I was finishing up a set. Noticed a band of two seemingly discarding, well, interestingly enough, it seemed like everything that they had. A pair of very fine, almost difficult, almost impossible to spot because of their darkness, black cloaks, and what appeared to be a couple of bags, as if they just chucked their belongings in the back lot between a couple of the different houses, and then next thing I knew, they were darting off the beaten path between different bushes, different grasses, and dare I say it, I've not seen something like this in quite some time. Saw the two of them trying to climb over the outer city walls. Very fascinating. I don't think I've ever in my lifetime seen somebody do such a thing.
What an incredible story, and thank you.
I wish I could give you more details, but again, these are just things that I've witnessed. I am in the market of witnessing and relaying stories. With that, they will stand up and toddle back over to their chair, where they will carefully replace themselves, and they will pull out what appears to be a tiny little it is a book, but it looks very crudely put together.
And what of you then? You've been rather quiet since we arrived here to Scald.
It's just been nice being back on solid ground and relaxing with people that have helped me a lot. There's a lot of things I'm still unsure of, but I feel like I've gotten somewhere that I don't think I could have without you.
And what
I'm
is
just
that,
thankful.
my friend?
Finding a purpose.
That I can certainly agree. He'll raise his cup to you.
It takes her a second to notice that you've raised the cup, but she will do the same once she notices.
He'll drink some of the blood. Whoa. Drink some of the wine.
But hold up.
At which point, Branson clap on. I thought we had to talk about this.
You
I don't
handed it to
recall-
him.
I don't recall making any promises.
To that point, it is I regret to inform you, Razvan, it is rather cheap, but it is at least a tasty white wine.
We'll kind of let it mull over in his mouth. I fear I've begun to lose the taste of wine. I do not crave the grapes fermented in spirit. I wish to tear the neck out of every tyrant and despot I see. That perhaps, hopefully, may suffice me.
Or you and me both want to stop them. I'm certain that we can try our best.
The problem now lies in where and who exactly are the despots. I do not know if this Harkin Lucas is a fool or is malicious with their inaction, but I aim to find out.
Lena just kind of visibly gulps at the mention of the name, just... It kind of grows a little still. It's suddenly kind of dawning on her that we're going to need to talk to Harkin Lucas.
Look around us, Lena. All these people are but on a knife's edge and they do not even realize it. The rot that claims much of the lands around us, it's only a matter of time before it smothers this city whole. This terrible cult gathers in numbers and in strength. And no Meistersinger, nor powerful mage or warrior of these lands will even raise a notice towards their presence.
Funny
If I feel-
answers would be good.
But I feel for these people now. Before they are brought to an epoch of their own ruin and ignorance. Imagine how painful it would be when it actually comes to pass.
I wouldn't want that for anyone.
Exactly. That is why we must steer ourselves and get to the bottom of all this.
I have questions I want to know the answers to as well. It's just hard to shake what I've heard when I was but a child.
And what did you
I don't
hear?
even know if it's true now.
What did you hear?
The stories that I had told you about that individual.
Remind me.
Lena's gonna check how much Angelique is paying attention right now.
Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Okay. Oh, good. 5.
Follow that up with a perception check. This is hearing based.
9. She is distracted at the thoughts.
It's a little difficult to tell between the conversation you're engaged with, the distance, the crackle of the fire in the hearth, the occasional tapping of a single hand drum.
Though, with just the company here and the barkeep and Angelique, she will say the stories back when in Melancholy and nearby. I had mentioned to you when I was young that I had heard stories of when I was a child of what Harkin Lucas was. They were known to be a feared dreadlord of the land. But they're just an individual running a inn here. I don't know if I was lied to as a child or something else. And I want to find out if it's true or not.
Then let us pray for his sake. It is not true. Because if I find any Master Singer, and he will shoot a glance towards Angelique, is not using their power to help their people, or worse, looking back towards Lena, using it to harm their people, dreadlord or not, I will take their head.
She will give you a slow nod. I will have your back.
As I will have yours, Lena.
Here is a question, if you don't mind me sort of opening it up. As this conversation comes to a lull, I'm going to turn to Ephestiel and Branson. You, unless I'm mistaken, Razvan, Lena, did you keep that quiet from the other three, or?
No, he said it with intention towards Angelique, as he knows
Yeah,
that she's
yeah,
in
that's-
competition for Maester Singer.
That's what I saw. So that's what I thought. So I'm curious at the reactions of the other members of the party in this moment.
Gonna say Branson has already given Rosvan his support for right now. He's kind of noticed that he's been much more intense lately, but he's also the least qualified person in the party to point out someone else being overly intense. So he's kind of just measuring out, like for lack of a better term, him not hearing it, but Vaughn hearing it, the new Razvan. So right now he's not really saying anything.
Hey, bro, you go to the gym too much. I only know that because I'm also at the gym way too much.
Exactly.
Hot as calling the kettle black.
I was
yeah,
muted. Go ahead, Cass.
Oh no.
No!
No, you go for it.
No. I need to regather thoughts since I was muted. I was like, what the fuck is
Okay,
going?
that's fair.
You're all good. Go.
Okay. Ophestiel has taken his mug and he's kind of like sipping on it. Watching Rosvan and like definitely picking up that he's going through it. And also wishing to give him space. He knows that he can probably lend an ear at some other point, and everyone else has been kind of on top of him and not really giving him a whole lot of time to just process his thoughts. So he's clocking this for later, but at this point he's kind of just enjoying the peace and lack of conflict and lack of movement as they sit and rest this time.
I'd say Branson would probably lean over at least to Ephestiel and just be like, it seems the rumors of the lightning-spewing snake monster have not left the city. At least I am now a known quantity. He says, but just taking another drink, having moved on to his second ale already.
I mean, they were awfully fast at the latest rumor. I'm not surprised that they haven't given up on your narrative just yet.
Well, just so you're aware, by dusk tomorrow, everyone will see the lightning-spewing snake monster brandishing a fully silvered battle axe, so be ready for heads to turn.
Well, heads already turn in our direction. It's something I think we all should just get used to.
Who said I ever stopped being used to it? Quick question.
And with, sorry, nope.
was
Keep
gonna
going.
say, did you figure out who that is? As he just kind of nudges his head towards the only other person in the bar that we have no idea who that is.
Oh,
The other performer.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize they were performing.
Yeah, they have a little hand drum. Go ahead and roll me an insight.
Will do. $25.
There is a very uncanny dead look in her eyes.
Would one say akin to the bartender?
Yeah, they seem to have the very same stare amongst both of their faces, not really looking at anything, but also not really looking at nothing.
Hmm. Branson will clock that, but he's also, after getting an explanation of just the overview of what a soulless is, he's not going to comment it on it because he would just think it'd be rude.
Mm. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kaz. Go for it.
I don't remember what I was saying, so
Oh no, I'm
it's
so
all
sorry.
good. You're good.
Just to come back really quickly to like Clem's sort of responses, I kind of touched on it a little bit with like the way Clem and Rosvan were interacting, but Clem probably, for those of you who would have high insight or would feel like it would be appropriate to notice, Clem is looking at Rosvan with like a, there's no other way to describe it other than like belief in or maybe admiration to an extent. But they wouldn't be saying or doing anything in particular, just kind of like letting Rosvan speak and seemingly just sort of, yeah, smiling contentedly.
With that, as the five of you begin to sink into a lull, expressions of various different emotions sort of mixing and melding in the space. Silence truly does fill the room with new information known and still a few additional things left to do. I think this is where we're going to call it for tonight's session, and we'll pick up where we leave off.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Sounds good to
Yackers,
me.
yackers.
Really excellent session, y'all. Really, really strong roleplay today.
Well, yeah. Thank you for running.
Yeah.
Thank you for running. Thank you for hosting. Thank you for role playing with me.
Thank
I
you
thought-
for playing. And why don't we start going around the horn? I can, in fact, do the wheel again if y'all would like.
I'm gonna-
The wheel decides.
The wheel
coming
does
up.
decide.
It's coming up. It's
The
coming up.
wheel does
It's
decide.
dead.
Skelly.
Okay, very well. Hi, everybody. I'm Scaly Alpha. You can find me at Twitch and Blue Sky under the same names. We're getting back to a normal schedule next week. I'm still working on the schedule live as we speak in the background, thinking of what I'm going to do. Definitely going to be having the Paper Mario and the Cosmic Caper on Tuesday, so expect that. Definitely have some more art streams coming up, getting ready for Art Fight and polishing off works in progress. And probably going to try and do at least one more Far Far West stream this coming week. Because that game is really good. You guys should play it. It's all the best parts of Deep Rock Galactic, Helldivers 2, and a little bit of Magica 1 and 2 in there because I love all the magics reacting with each other. And with some Ultra Kill movement. It's good. But other than that, I know next Sunday, I believe, we'll be doing Suits, which Leah will be streaming. We'll be DMing, and we'll be here. But yeah, that's really it for me. I will pass it over to Zan.
Hi, that's me. I already showed earlier, but if you want to see what I'm up to and when I'm up to it, you can check my Blue Sky Xanol's where I post everything I do. That being said, if no one's told you I love you today, please allow me to be the first. I love you very much. Thank you for showing up and spending time with us. That's me. I will bequeath the skull to Kaz.
Will bequeathed. Hi, I'm Kaz. You can find me on Instagram Blue Sky at Kaz or at Sarcastic Vision. I am doing everything all at once, as usual.
Everywhere?
Doing some art. Yeah, everywhere, all at once. God, that's a good movie. Anyway.
Great movie.
Great movie. Yeah, I'm also prepping for Art Fight, so I've been doing that all session. And also working on some new builds right now, so and I kind of just have been bouncing between the two, so I don't really know what I'm doing next, but you can follow me on my Instagram and you'll probably figure it out. But that's me. So I will gently hand over the skull to Saris.
Hi, hello. You can find me all over the internet at TixTixel, where I'm sometimes doing stuff. You can also find me over at the Amusing Thalia channel, sometimes on Mondays. You can find me over at Distortion Devil's channel, sometimes on Fridays. And you can find me here at Burnout Vaughn's channel, sometimes on either Saturdays or Sundays. And if it hadn't been said before, thank you to all of our lovely watchers for being here and following along our little story together. Hope you're enjoying it. I'm going to pass the skull next to Leah.
Hi, I'm Leah, aka Amusing Thalia. You can find me here on Sundays, my channel Mondays and Thursdays, other places, other various times on the week, including aforementioned games. If you like me, you can follow me on those places. Otherwise, thank you for spending your time with us. We all get a limited time on this plane, and I want to thank you for spending yours with us today. Have a good one. I'm gonna boot the talking skull back onto Vaughn's head, I think.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to need that for a while. But hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Blue Sky and YouTube at Burnout Vaughn. Yeah, as for the week, what we know we have on the docket, we have the Cosmic Caper on Tuesday, where we get into, I guess now, selling ghost insurance. What that is and how we do it, well, you'll have to tune in to find out. Then on Saturday, we have more of the perfect toxic Yuri legal discourse with of the devil. And following that, we have more Threadbare Suits, where again, we've adopted a shark named Freddy Chompers. If that doesn't endear us to you, I don't know what will. But with that out of the way, for most of the streams, well, actually now it's going to be all the streams soon. But the person who does the theme song for all that is streaming right now, very rarely. So I think we'll go raid our good boy Wiley as Willie. He's currently doing,
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, looks like he's doing a Wind Waker randomizer, I believe. But yeah, thank you all for coming out. We will see you again in 1 month's time. Oh. What was that? I heard something.
Nope.
Okie dokie. Well then,
Nope.
We'll see you again in 1 month's time. Thank you. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.
Fare thee well.